forcing myself to begin each day is just miserable.
You okay?
Tired.
Tired. Here are your pills.
Thank you. Could you bring me some water?
Yeah.
I've been lying in this bed in Mobile for 7 years. My hips and my back are in agony, just from me staying in the same position all the time. The only thing that motivates me to keep trying is my beautiful wife, Brenda.
It's time for your bath, Abby. I got everything ready for you.
She is my inspiration, my light at the end of this tunnel. When I wake up, the first thing I have to do is bathe. It's extremely painful. It's the worst part of my day.
Is it okay if I do your feet while you wash your head and face? Yeah?
And it's difficult because this bed is too small for me. And Brenda has to bring over a bucket bath. In a bigger bed, I would have more space to be able to maneuver and flip side to side better. But I gotta deal with what I got. My front part, I do by myself as best as I can. I wash the front parts that I can reach, and Brenda helps wash my sides and the parts of the lower legs that she can reach. In 2014, I was in a car accident. I lost feeling from my chest down. And now, because I've been bedridden for 7 years, I've developed bed sores and lymphedema. So every morning, Brenda has to thoroughly clean them and disinfect them.
Should be good, yeah.
Doing baths is extremely painful. But in my head, I try to maintain happiness just to try and move through it and not dwell on it.
Scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, and toast for breakfast.
All right.
Your breakfast
Yeah.
and coffee.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Breakfast. It doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be something that'll satisfy my urge right now. You know, I think about food more often than I should. And I know I eat too much.
Is it good?
Yes. But I've always liked food. And the way I eat today is still a giant improvement on how I ate when I was a kid. My sisters and I were born and raised in Puerto Rico. We were a close-knit Christian family, and on Sundays, we would go to church together. And Caribbean comfort food was part of everything. Crispy pork, deep-fried bananas, rice and beans, and mashed potatoes. It wasn't a good diet for a little kid to be, but I loved it. I couldn't have enough of that. And I wasn't overweight. I was really skinny. Back then, I was playing a lot of basketball. So whatever I ate late at night would burn off. Until I was 14, that's when I started having a growth spurt. I grew to 6'4". That's when I started gaining more weight. I stopped doing athletics and playing basketball. I started liking more music, so my physical activity was playing the drums. And you know, I started getting bigger. It's crunchy, that's why I went.
Crunchy bacon.
Yeah. I thought, okay, I'm young and my metabolism will kick in. No, it didn't. It just stopped and kept on gaining weight. When I graduated from high school, I went to school in Florida to become a sound engineer. And going there was life-changing. I was just learning a sponge and just trying to learn everything that I could. I was living the college life. First time I had my own place, and because I was completely alone, I had no parenting, no nothing. The apartment that I was living in, I had a fried chicken chain right across the street. And I wouldn't buy a combo, I would buy the bucket. I ballooned to 450 pounds, and my weight just piled up. But I thought, it's okay, I'm still young, I can lose weight later. I graduated with honors, which was one of the proudest moments of my life. I came back to Puerto Rico And I started working for the theater in my home city, which I was the most proud of because I'm actually working for my city. I learned how to like ballet, which I never thought I would be able to. I wasn't focused on food. I started losing a lot of weight, plus my job dealing with so many equipment that's heavy. It was like a working out. So it made me lose a lot of weight. So I lost like 100 pounds. I was 20 years old when I started actually in the dating scene. One of my coworkers, he told me about a new dating app for larger people. And I saw Brenda's face and I was like, she's cute. And I just decided to send her a message. She wrote back and we started a relationship over the phone. And then we went on our first date. We went to the movies with my nieces and nephews and they were like, and being kids. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed. And she's like, don't worry, I love this. And she took control of the whole situation and she had him eating off her head.
Were the sausages good?
Yeah, everything was great, baby. So I bought her the engagement ring. Then, the day before her birthday, I was on my way to Brenda's house to propose to her. And a lady didn't stop at a stop sign. And I didn't see her before it was too late. When her car hit me, I didn't have any broken bones, but my neck got whiplash and it came out of place. Because of the accident, I can't feel my legs. They took me to an MRI machine and got the X-ray imaging they needed to find out what was going on. I had a problem with 3 discs. They were damaging the spinal cord. So immediately they took me to emergency surgery.
Honestly, it felt like he was in the ICU for years. He was basically quadriplegic. He needed help for everything at that point. And once they saw that, he was able to move his arms again, that's when, he was able to come home with a hospital bed. Because the doctor told us that he might not be able to ever walk again. It really depended on his nerves and seeing what they were able to do. Go up the stairs. Stairs. Good boy.
After many months, my spinal cord lost all its swollenness, and I started being able to move my legs.
I remember the first day that he moved his leg, I was crying. And we took a video of it, and we sent it to all the family. But that was enough for me to know that he will get through this.
I was finally allowed to move back home with my parents.
As soon as Abby got back, I would basically stay at his house days at a time because I like to be the one that cleans him up, who basically takes care of him.
I couldn't bend the knee, but I had her right next to me and I got the ring and I told her, I love you with all my heart and you're the one. I'm not looking for anything else.
I didn't fall in love with the body, I fell in love with his soul. So I just wanted him to do better for himself because I knew I was always going to be there for him.
My dad was a huge influence on me. He was so happy for me getting married. It did affect me a lot once we lost him, and I feel like I didn't really get to say goodbye the correct way. But knowing what was coming ahead, it was a blessing when my dad went when he did. Because a year later, we had Hurricane Maria. And if he was still alive, that hurricane would have killed him for sure. Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico in September of 2017. It was a huge Category 5 hurricane which affected the whole island. We had no running water, and we were without electricity, at least in our case, for 56 days. After the hurricane, because it took all the trees away, it was mostly 90 degrees. So I was basically cooking in my bed every day. Because I had a friend that saw the condition that I was in. She's like, you need to get out of Puerto Rico. She did a post which was shared by a lot of people in Puerto Rico. And We got referred to a foundation, which was helping a lot of people after the hurricane. They took me out of Puerto Rico and brought me here. And then I moved to where my sister was living in Austin.
All right, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, okay? I'll call you when I get there.
All right, I'll
You
give you
just
the
let
list.
me, yeah. All right, I'll be back. Take care of the boys.
Brenda found a job working for an auto refinancing company. And then another job came up in customer service, working with customers looking to refinance their vehicles. Yes, you received the pre-qualification letter? They had a vocational rehab program, and my caseworker got me a desk and a headset so that I could work from my bed. I'm sending them an email so that they could call you back as soon as they can, okay?